Bring your attention to your intention. Take action. Achieve your goal. Intention plus action equals goal achievement. But intention is more than a to-do list. Intention is a plan, a course of action. It is a roadmap, and it starts with a goal. Now, oftentimes it's that goal that is the hardest thing to come up with. It is the most difficult because usually, I don't know if this happens to you, let me know if it sounds familiar, but when you go to make a goal, you have this little voice that perks up in your head and says things like, well, that'll never work for you. Well, you don't have money and connections, so that's not going to work for you. You're too old. You're too young. Your nose is too big. Your ears are too small. And so on and on and on. It's the egoic self, your ego speaking to you, that negative self-talk, talking you right out of it, sabotaging you. So the first thing you have to do is get past these negative thought habits. They are ingrained in us. They are habits. So if you are already on that path, if you have a practice to get past these negative thought habits, well, go ahead and proceed. Do that. If you haven't, though, check out this video right here on this channel. It's right up here. The name of the video is Say This Affirmation Daily, a practice to change your worthiness story. So you can watch that video, and I kind of go over how to deal with that negative self-talk. That is just one way. But whenever that negative self-talk does raise its ugly head, just replace it with a positive thought, a positive affirmation. And a really good one to use is, I am worthy. It doesn't matter what size your ears are, what size your nose, or if you're old or you're young, or if you have connections or not. It doesn't matter. You are worthy. I am worthy. Say that affirmation. When you're making your goal, be as specific as possible. And make your goal for your highest good. Will it make you a better person? Will it make you an inspiration for others? How will this goal affect others? So think about those things when you're making your goal. And so, for example, if you have a goal to have an expensive car, and maybe it is because you want to show it off to your friends, or maybe you want to have the most fancy house in an expensive neighborhood. Those are goals you might have. That's fine. I'm not saying these goals are right or wrong, but ask yourself, is this for my highest good? Is this for the highest good of all? But is it for my highest good? So really evaluate what you're doing. Is it to impress others, or is it to inspire others, or for your highest good, so you can learn and grow? That's the ultimate goal, right? So ask yourself that question. Is this goal for my highest good? And goals are personal. So the two goals I mentioned may be perfect for you. So choose your goal and move on. Now here's a goal that I want to share. It's a personal story for me, and it's kind of a little example of how I learned from it and how I revised it. So once upon a time, I had a goal to hike the Appalachian Trail. But I had this goal, and I just wanted to spend one night. That was my goal. And only because I love nature, so I guess that was for my highest good, although at that time, I really didn't even think about it. I just wanted to go hike the trail and spend the night there. But after just one night, I revised my goal, and I decided that I wanted to hike the entire almost 2,200 miles of the Appalachian Trail. So I revised my goal to complete the Appalachian Trail in 7 years. That was my goal. Well, over the course of everything, that was revised, and it ended up taking me 14 years. But I set my intention to complete that trail, and I took action to make that happen, and I did complete the trail. So in completing the trail, I learned to be a more resilient person. I learned to depend on myself. And I learned that things are never as hard as they seem. They are never as hard as they seem. And that the human body is pretty darn tough. You can go to bed at night and not be able to move and get up the next morning and hike 10 or 15 miles. So it's pretty incredible. And it was a great experience. And it's an example of a goal I set. I revised it. I reviewed it, but I took action, I stuck with it, and I ended up completing it. The same thing goes for a college degree. You have your list of courses and you're just checking them off as you do them. That is your roadmap, and you're taking action. You're going to class, you're doing the work to achieve that goal of that degree. Maybe you're not a hiker. Well, here's another example of a goal and how intention and action equals goal achieved. So maybe your goal is to be physically fit. I want to be healthy and physically fit. And what that looks like is when I climb stairs, I don't want to be winded. I want to be strong and able to run and play with my children or my grandchildren. I want to be able to lift things and do things no matter what my age is. My intention is to be physically fit. So the action I'm going to take is to move my body, to make sure I get enough sleep, to make sure I get the nutrition that I need from my body, to drink water, to do yoga, to take care of myself in those ways, and that will move me towards my goal of being physically fit and healthy. So whatever your goal is, whether it is to learn a new language, to go to school, to learn to play an instrument, let your intention drive your action. And here's how you get started with that. Step 1, set your goal. Set your goal. Write your goal down. It's helpful to post it so you can see it, because if it's in front of you, you won't forget it. How many times have you written New Year's resolutions? Here's my goal for this year. And you write them down, and that's the end of it. You never see them or think about them again, right? So putting it on a Post-it note and seeing it every day is a really valuable tool. So post your goal, read it daily. I recommend starting with one goal. You want to start with one goal so you're not overwhelmed. And once you kind of get the hang of how you get up in the morning and set your intention for your action towards your goal, well, then you can add more goals. But practice first with just one goal, staying on track. One more word about goals: be willing to revise them, because as you move along, you will see that you may need to make a change, and that's okay. Step 2, make a plan. Make your plan. It is a roadmap to your goal. So list out the steps you need to take. Make a checklist, whatever works for you. If you decide that my goal is to write a book, then maybe your roadmap looks like this. I'm going to write a page a day. In a year's time, I'll have 365 pages. So make your plan so your intention can drive your action towards your goal. Step 3, set your intention to take action to achieve your goal. So every day, intend to move forward on your goal. Do something towards your goal. And again, that might be checking something off a checklist. It might be writing that one page. It might be creating something, whatever you need to do. So in the example of being physically fit, that might look like this. Every day I'm going to do yoga, and I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to get enough sleep. Whatever you need to do to move towards that goal, set your intention every day. Step 4 is to meditate and journal. Now, that might seem a little out of place with the other things that I've listed, but meditation gives you clarity. Meditation will help you problem solve. There's so much benefit to going quiet and going within and listening. So ask the question when you meditate. Ask for clarity. And then wait. Listen. You may realize an answer, hear an answer, discover an answer. Something may come to you that day. It may be a week. So watch and observe. And this is where journaling is so helpful, because when you're journaling, you are almost channeling your higher self. In fact, I think you are channeling your higher self. So you are getting clarity in simply writing. So journal your experience, journal your meditation, ask your question in your journal, and see if you don't get an answer. It's also a great way to problem solve. I have to back up to step 3. Step 3 may take time, because if you have a big goal, like I did, to complete 2,194 miles or whatever it is, it wasn't something I could do while working, taking care of kids, and living my life. It was something that was going to take a long time. If you are starting a business, it's going to take a long time. If you're writing a book. So no, just be patient. Know that it will take some time to achieve your goal, but every day take action toward that goal. That's the key. Every day, take some action toward your goal. Now, this is ongoing. Read your goal daily. Read your goal daily. Keep it in front of you. And at night, review your goal. Reflect on your goal. Revise your goal as needed. Because you may find as you're going along that your goal changes. You may tweak it. It will happen. When I was hiking the Appalachian Trail, I had a goal to complete the trail in 7 years. And then I realized, after reflecting, that I was hiking as fast as I could and pushing my body probably beyond its limits, just so I could get the job done in 7 years. And very early on, thankfully, it was very early on, I realized this, and I revised my plan. In fact, my plan was revised to, I will finish this trail when I'm finished, but I will enjoy it while I'm hiking it. And I slowed down and really enjoyed the journey. So that's one example of how you might revise your plan. But keep it in front of you, and it's okay to revise it. Now, as far as doing your action every day towards your goal, life happens. We are busy people. We have kids. Some of us are taking care of our elderly parents. So if you miss a day, have grace with yourself. Don't beat yourself up, but just pick up the next day and move on. But take action. Daily, look at your goal. Revise it, tweak it, reflect on it, and move on. All right, here are some other tips just to help you stay on track. And the first 2 are bewares. Beware of just drifting through your day. It is so easy for that to happen. Beware of being stuck in an old routine that does not serve you. And an example of that might be coming home, flipping on the TV, watching a few shows. It's too late to cook now. I'm going to order pizza, and I'm going to binge watch something on Netflix till midnight. Change it. Change it, because that won't leave you much time to take action for your goal. So beware of those 2 things. Just be mindful. Be mindful. Have grace. If you do have one of those days, and everybody knows we have some of those days where we come home and we don't want to do nothing. So again, have grace with yourself, pick up the next day and move on, because it's going to happen, and it's okay as long as you are mindfully moving forward. And that doesn't happen every day. All right. The other tip to help you is to manage your time. Manage your time. Now, some people are natural at this. I am not one of those people. I have learned to be very good friends with my calendar. So look at your calendar and block out your time. Set your reminders. Have you ever heard the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if you don't write it down, if you don't block out time for it, it's going to fall off the plate because plates are full these days. So look at your calendar, block out that time, and then look at your calendar. That's another thing I had to remind myself of. I would do all that, block it out, write it, and set timers and everything, and then I wouldn't look at it. So it did me no good. Look at your calendar so you can stay on track, so you can set your intention to take action, so you can achieve your goal every day. Use your phone's digital well-being app to manage your screen time, because it is so easy to get sucked into the vortex of the entertainment that our phones do provide. So the 20 minutes of watching reels can turn into 120 minutes real quick. Or you're scrolling along and all of a sudden you find some show and now you have to binge watch the show. So it gets out of hand real quick. How much time? Have you ever sat down and really looked up? Our phones now will track this for us. So you probably have that on your phone. How many hours you're on your phone. So how much screen time are you spending every day that serves you? Does your screen time serve you? So really look at that, because that might free up some time to help you toward your goal. So just be mindful of your screen time. It's easy for it to get out of hand. It happens to us all. Bring your attention to your intention. Make it a daily practice. Move toward your goal. And above all, enjoy the journey. See you next week.